Oh, hey there, Riri. Hi. You now have 148 million reasons to trust the process. And it could be 178 million. Who knows? We'll see. Kyle Gaffner is here. I'm Adrian Fedke, the big man, Joel Embiid, the Shirley Temple drinking guy that I tried thinking of a cool little thing there, and I just completely butchered that. But he got a contract extension, 5 years, $148 million. Wow. It happened.
It did. The man finally got paid. I'm glad we got this done, but maybe Rihanna, does pull out that umbrella because he's going to be making it rain all over here. That's for sure.
That was pretty good. Nice on the spot right there. Nice.
But yeah, the man got paid. Maybe she gives this a second thought. Maybe she'll go after him now, even though she's got a ton of money anyway.
Yeah. It's funny. It's hard to judge this deal because there are so many details that haven't been reported on yet. So something that Adrian Wojnarowski reported on yesterday, obviously he's like, when he says something's going to happen, he's always right. It's as ironclad as it gets. So here was his little bit from his initial report. The deal will include some salary cap protection for the 76ers should Embiid sustain injury that causes him to miss significant playing time, league sources said. So the percentages is what's important here because we don't know if the Sixers are going to get protected on 50% of the deal, on 25% of the deal, 10% of the deal. It depends on that number if the gamble was worth it. If that number is, say, 50%, which is kind of what I'm hearing, but I still haven't heard that official, that's a gamble that the Sixers should take. That's basically like handing him a 5-year, $74 million contract if he gets hurt. So at the end of the day, 5 years, $74 million, yes, that would suck if he's hurt, but all of a sudden that contract doesn't look that bad.
No, for sure. And the percentages is a huge part of it. And once this does get released, because I feel like a lot of the insiders don't even know what's going on still. It's one of the most complex, if not the most complex contract that's ever been done in NBA history. The Woj reported that as well. And I've saw different percentages. I saw 30% thrown out there, but I don't know if that's towards our salary cap or if that's towards his contract. And that wouldn't. And I feel like the juice is always worth the squeeze, especially when it comes down to Joel Embiid. It was a risk when we drafted him coming out of college. He had that back injury. We all know this. We all know he hasn't played in 3 years. He had 31 games under his belt. But that short time, what he was able to do and put up those historic numbers, it's worth the risk. It's worth the gamble. When you go down to AC or Vegas, you throw it all on black. Do you have a 50% chance of winning it? That's why you play the game, baby.
Yep. And he would be qualified to receive the supermax, so to speak, the extra $30 million, if he's able to. Okay, let's see. These are it right now. All right. So if he's voted Defensive Player of the Year, or Most Valuable Player, or named to an All-NBA first, second, or third team for the 2017-18 season. So basically, if he stays healthy for the whole year, he's going to get it because he's going to get an All-NBA first, second, or third team, especially at the center spot, I think.
For sure. If he is able to stay healthy, there's no doubt in my mind that he's being talked about or in consideration for league MVP. If he can do what he did last year, but with a long period of time, he's got to be considered, and he'll be considered one of the best big men in the game, for sure. He could get all three of those in 1 year. He could get Defensive Player of the Year, he could get League MVP, and for sure getting first all-team.
Yeah. Now, I don't know, like, how many games he's actually going to play this year. I'm sure he's not going to play back-to-backs. I'm sure they're still going to baby him. But they are saying that he's probable to play tomorrow.
I did see that. I was surprised, too. And I don't want that to happen. We don't want to rush this guy out there. Let's take as much time as possible. It is only a preseason game. I know he's a little rusty. He hasn't played. I mean, that injury happened back in February, I believe, with his leg. So to get him in a little bit of game action, but it just kind of makes you hold your breath a little bit. Like, okay, he got his contract. Let's let him sit out the preseason and put it all out there for the regular season games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I don't really want to see him play during the preseason. I mean, maybe if you want to sprinkle him out there for a game or two, okay. But you know, we'll kind of see how they handle him. But I was surprised to see that he was probable. So,
and you would think they would wait until, because you know they're playing Miami and Kansas City, and they're playing in Kansas's stadium. You figured maybe they'd wait for that. But what also is going to benefit us this year is, you know, with the way the NBA has changed the scheduling, so they prevent a lot of teams resting their best players and stuff. There isn't going to be as many back-to-back games as there was before with travel time. So this is going to benefit the Sixers and Embiid as well with not playing the back-to-backs. It won't be as much stress on that leg and throwing him out there to get his stamina back up to game speed and stuff, because this is going to be great for us. So when I saw that, very, very beneficial to the Sixers.
Something that Sean Brace and I were talking on the Philly Influencer podcast last night, I feel like Embiid won't have to be on the perimeter as much this year. Because you have Ben Simmons, you have Markelle Fultz. Get him down on the block, because it scares the hell out of me. Every time he drives to the basket, he lands awkwardly every time. He doesn't know how to fall. I can't stand that stuff when he does it. It scares the shit out of me. So I think this year we're going to see, we know that we signed J.J. Redick. We have Justin Anderson. There's Robert Covington. You have a bunch of guys that can shoot the three ball. So I think Embiid is going to be not shooting as many threes. I think he'll be on the block. And what do you think about that?
I love it. I would like to see that, because he's put a lot of he was a monster when he was at Kansas down on the block. And yeah. I feel like because there wasn't as many players and he was pretty much putting the Sixers on his back at this point, he was trying to do everything for that team last year. And it was scary when he was putting the ball on the floor. It just looked so awkward when he does it, because he's not nimble at all. He's a very awkwardly nimble guy. And it does scare you when he goes up. And when he goes for those huge mega slams, you know, he falls awkwardly. It's like, God, one little thing you could tweak and break his ankle. So get down there, do some work like the big men do. And if he wants to hit a trail three from time to time, that's fine. But he doesn't need to be on the perimeter.
Yeah, the trail three, I love that. That you can do all day. And you know, he's always going to be open on that, because, you know, the way everybody's attention is going to be on Ben Simmons when he has the basketball in his hands and the open floor. So that little, you know, fast break trail three, he's going to be doing that all year. I like that. That's the only time he should be shooting.
Behind the perimeter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm cool with the little high post ISO. You want to face up along the wing, you want to do that, fine. But I don't want him driving to the basket. I don't want him taking these long strides to the goal and then falling awkwardly. No. I mean, even sit at the top of the key, set some screens, pass the ball off, just go down on the block and do work. Now, with this injury to Richaun Holmes, this could be key for us too. Now, do you think this is maybe why they're putting Embiid out there? Is this going through their mind? Like, do we need to sign another big man because we have Embiid that's not 100% healthy? Richaun Holmes out for 4 or 5 weeks with that broken wrist. Do you think this affects us at all? No, because they have Chris Humphries. He's the best player in the league.
Oh, God. He's looked atrocious.
I mean, I don't think so. I guess they're just trying to get Embiid back to game shape. I mean, that's an interesting point, but I don't think that's the reason why they're bringing him back.
But it is key, though, since we do have Humphries and Okafor, to maybe sign one of these guys, since we are down now a big man. We still have Okafor, obviously, and he's been playing well. We can never have too many big men. Yeah, for sure. All right, so something else I wanted to get into about this contract, if I can find it here. Hold on. I hate dead air time and looking for my stuff. But, all right, so there's something called Jesus, I can't find it again. Are you talking about the ability to not sign Fultz and or Simmons?
Yeah. There's something called the designated rookie slot. So basically, you're allowed to. Okay, 1, 2. All All right, go. Just talk, and I'm going to look at this for a second.
Okay, so I know there was a lot of concerns when I did my Embiid extension video yesterday. A lot of fans were for it, but there were a couple people that didn't like this, which they bring up a good point, not being able to maintain Simmons and Fultz and Dario all at the same time. But with what you're bringing up, which is also involved with this contract, I don't know if it's in a clause, but there is something in there where it said the fifth option is a good thing because you're only allowed to have X amount of players on 5-year options. So you don't want to wait up until their contract's about to expire. They were saying we're still able to maintain all these guys, Fultz, Simmons, and give them a 5-year contract all at the same time, but you'd have to do it before their contract ends. So you'd have to do it in a restricted free agency mode as opposed to giving them an extension. So they would be able to do that and have enough money to give all these guys a 5-year contract after the rookie scale is over. And I think that's what you were talking about.
Yeah. I basically don't really need to get into this now. So, yeah, I basically just like copied and pasted a huge little paragraph and couldn't find the little part in the paragraph where I wanted to say. So, that's why I had that airtime. But yeah, you basically said it. I mean, basically, each team is allowed a maximum of 2 designated rookie extensions where you're allowed to offer that 5th year. And now, because they used it on Joel Embiid, they can't use it on both Markelle Fultz and Ben Simmons. But it doesn't mean that they can't offer them a 5-year contract, because if they offer it to them once their contract expires, they're allowed to. So there you go. A little confusing, but there you go.
And the rookie scale would go up too. So that's an interesting, because they're Embiid's what, 2 or 3 years ahead of them, and Fultz and Simmons are only a year apart. And then Dario's that's interesting with Dario because he didn't come up over until last year. So I wonder how his contract works then, because it's not when we drafted him, because if he didn't come over, it's the last year. But I feel like the brass is going to maintain all these guys. They're not going to let anybody go unless they can trade them away and get some other pieces or some draft picks down the road if you're not be able to maintain them. But I feel like they have a good young core, and these guys are bought into winning. So they're not going to want to have all max money, I feel. I feel like they're going to want to stay with this team, build a championship caliber team and go with this, and not be like, no, I don't want to stay with this team. They're all going to be like demanding money. I feel like they'll have enough sense not to do that.
Yeah.
Or at least I'm hoping. Who knows? Probably just me thinking that and praying that doesn't happen.
All right, so let's see. What else is there to discuss in the Embiid front? I mean, I feel good that they got the deal done. My initial instinct was I wanted to wait until the season played itself out and just, basically just match any offer that he got. But because of this salary cap protection, I feel good about it. It depends what it is, but if it's 50% or higher, then this is a great deal.
Well, the concern is, too, we have the ability to match any offer, but there could have been a situation where a team offered a lot more money than we might even not be able to match. So that's where that concern comes in on why not just wait till the end of the year. That's why I wanted to get the deal done, because that was a possibility for a team that offer, I don't know, let's say 10 above what we were willing to pay Joel Embiid.
Oh, they would have matched anything.
You would like to think so.
I think they would have matched anything. And if Embiid gets hurt this year, all of a sudden his contract's not going to be as high next year. So, it's 2 ways you can look at it. I doubt that Joel Embiid, whose nickname is literally the process, would go anywhere else but Philadelphia.
No, I would think he's here to stay. Just with the way he's embraced the city, the way we've embraced him.
He plays tennis, like on 25th and Pine or whatever the address it was. He's just out there playing tennis. Yeah. He's out there in the city running like Rocky. He loves it.
Loves it here. He does. And maybe with this money, he can get a patent on the Shirley temples he wanted to make and call it the process and sell it down at the game. Get some business. Make some even more money off of that. I loved it for that.
Down at the Wells Fargo Center.
That's right. process some shirts, get the process going. I mean, he literally could make millions just off of the merchandise alone, just off of those 2 words. Yeah. Trust. Well, 3 words. Trust the process.
All right. So I have a question. Do you feel, now this is like switching topics completely, but you brought up Rashawn Holmes earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel like the Sixers have to move Dario Saric or Rashawn Holmes to make room for Jonah Bolden next year?
Ooh, man, that is a good question. Not necessarily, because there's a couple guys on this team I don't think that are going to be here next year that are expiring contracts. Let's say a la Sauce. I believe TJ McConnell contract is up as well. So maybe we won't have to come between that rock and a hard place to make that decision just yet. But going down the road, I feel like they don't get rid of Dario. If it is all and anything, the odd man out is definitely going to be Okafor.
Oh, yeah.
But for Jonah Bolden, and then Rashawn Holmes, actually, he was drafted in 2015, so he's coming up too to a free agent.
Yeah.
But if anything, I still think you can find any player like a Rashawn Holmes because he's an energy guy, and Dario offers a lot more when it comes to the offensive and being able to handle the ball. And when you bring in a Jonah Bolden, just like a Swiss Army knife, the odd man out would definitely be Rashawn Holmes. Let's hope not, because I like all those guys. You can find an energy guy anywhere.
I feel like Rashawn Holmes would be the guy. Yeah, like I feel like Rashawn Holmes could be added on in like a Jahlil Okafor package or something if that's something they want to do down the line. And speaking of Jahlil Okafor, now you like me, I didn't get a chance to watch the game last night. I had the Philly Influencer podcast. I do have the game on the DVR. I know that they got blown the fuck out and they didn't look good, but I'm going to watch it afterwards. But the first 2 games for Jahlil Okafor, I thought he looked really good. And, he's lean and trim now, but he's added to his game. Mm-hmm. He had a step-back jumper in the first game, which I was just like completely boggled my mind. And he's hitting the glass a little bit more. It's like a new player. Hopefully he keeps continuing this.
You'd be surprised when you shed 25 pounds. It really adds to your jump. He has lift now. Before, he really couldn't get off the floor. I mean, this guy could barely even move. And just the way that he slimmed down, he's going with the up-tempo pace. He's able to crash the glass. He's defending. Like you said, he's got lift on his jumpers. I mean, I was baffled when I saw this guy out there. I had to do a double look because I'm like, who is this guy? It was such a transformation to see what he was when he first came in here to what he's bought into now, and I love it. And if he continues this, he could be a viable piece going down further into this championship run that we hopefully go on.
Yeah. Now, I know we love Dario too, but, I wouldn't be – like, it wouldn't shock me if he's traded. And I want to say that in this sense, because you might be able to get something legitimately great back for him.
For Dario. Yeah. For sure.
I love Dario, but it wouldn't surprise me if he was traded.
He would be, if it did come to a trade, since he does bring the most value back. I feel Okafor and Rashawn Holmes are just kind of throw-ins, but he would be a focal point in a trade.
Yeah.
To maybe net something back from a team.
Yeah, I'm with you. Robert Covington, next year. Now, extension talk. Something else, I believe after Embiid's contract now, they will have the ability to give him, I believe Derek Bodner reported $12 million per season.
Yeah, that's what it said. It said around $12 million a year. And
he deserves it, so I'd give it to him.
I would give it to him, too. From what he came in to the league to what he is now, he's worked on his game every year. He's still a streaky shooter, but to have the ability to have a player go out there and shut down the opposition's best offensive player is nothing to really stick your nose up at. It's very hard to do, to have a lockdown defender. And I would say this, he is an elite defender. I would put him in that category to say he is an elite defender.
Definitely up there, man. He's ridiculous. He's long. Not only in the perimeter, but even in the interior. Sometimes I've seen him challenge shots at the rim. So,
and he's a great rebounder. Great rebounder.
Yeah.
got great size. So I would put up with his streaky shooting for whatever else he brings on the defensive end because he can score off of steals, block shots, what have you. He adds more to the game than just.
You want a bunch of 3-and-D guys on this team. That's the way this team has to be structured with Ben Simmons now. I mean, the way he's going to be driving and kicking, the way he's going to be going in transition and finding shooters. We've seen that too. Justin Anderson in the corner. So that's the way this team's going.
Think of the 04 Suns, the Houston Rockets.
This is the San Antonio Spurs team that won the championship. That's what this offense is going to look like.
I hope so. I hope we can get to that level. I know our defense isn't to quite that level yet.
No.
We definitely still need some more D&3 guys. I would love to make a play on Avery Bradley, call up the Pistons, and try to get him on this team because I still feel like we need guards that can really defend.
Yeah, I that probably won't happen since they just traded for him. But
I know.
Yeah, they should have traded Ja for Avery Bradley when they had the fucking chance to.
If they even wanted him, Boston probably didn't want to do that. Maybe if it was the new Svelte and Slim Trim Jahlil Okafor, maybe.
Well, this was like 2 years ago already, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Before, I'm just saying
this was before Ja really sucked.
They knew his defensive deficiencies were still there. That killed him.
They wanted him though. They wanted Ja for like a half a season.
I would have done it then for sure.
Yeah.
Now, you did hear about Fultz's new shooting form, right?
Oh yeah.
What is your feel? And what are your feels on? Were you able to catch the first 2 games of the Sixers? How is
I saw the first 2 games. Yeah.
What are your feels on the way he's playing? A lot of concerns.
He didn't play in the second game. But the first. I mean, he struggled in the first game, but like, I kind of equate his new shooting release. It's kind of the similar thing to Carson Wentz's new mechanics. It's going to take some time. He did not look good at all in his first game. There was a quote that Brett Brown said after the game that was 100% correct, and he said, "The tree line in the NBA is a completely different animal." It was like something like that, like the tree line. And meaning when he drives to the rim, he didn't seem to understand like how difficult it would be around the rim to get a shot off.
No, for sure, it's not college.
Yeah, it's not college. So, and that's what I kept noticing in the opener was he couldn't get the lift to get up over the trees. I mean, normally he has that floater, but he just couldn't get it off, and he was getting held up. So. He didn't look good. He was like 2 of 13 or whatever he was, but it's only one game. I don't know what he did yesterday. See, that's the thing. But I'm gonna watch that right when we finish here. But it's gonna take time with the shooting for him.
And I don't think they should have really tweaked his shooting for him because I don't think it was that bad. And what I saw at that free throw line, what he was doing yesterday. I would completely go back to his old ways because it is so odd looking. The way he literally just brings it up. He doesn't pause. He just brings it up and throws it. It just looks atrocious. So I don't know who was getting in his head and telling him to shoot like that. But go back to your old ways, folks. It wasn't that bad. And I don't because I was at that game against the Celtics, the second preseason game, and I was very confused on why he didn't play. I feel like out of all the players, he should be the one playing every preseason game.
Yeah, they held him out because of like a shoulder injury, like a precautionary thing.
Oh God, is that what it was? I'm like, come on, like, geez, the second home game, you figure Fultz, he needs all the practice he can get.
Yeah.
So he should be.
The other thing too is I thought he was out of shape in his first. That too. Because he looked sluggish, and he hasn't played basically since February. He had those 3 summer league games before he got hurt, or was it 2 summer league games? Whatever it was.
I think it was 2.
So you're talking about a kid that basically hasn't played since February. He's already a little thickish to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, he really shouldn't be bragging about wanting Chick-fil-A all the time. But I felt like he was out of shape. He was slow. He was sluggish, and combined with the fact that it was his first NBA game and not really understanding that it's different than college now. I think that's a lot to do with it. I mean, he's not the only rookie that's struggling right now. So, but obviously more people are going to talk about him because he was the number 1 overall pick, and the Sixers traded up for him.
Comes with a lot of pressure being that number 1 overall pick. It comes with a lot of accolades, and people expect you, and they want instant gratification nowadays. But I was telling everybody, you got to wait. And what would you say? I said it was going to take him about probably 2 to 3 months to really get acclimated to the NBA game before he really starts to take over games.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I want to. This isn't going to be a topic for this show, but our boy Eric, he brought up the fact that Markelle Fultz should be coming off the bench, and this is something that I'm kind of warming up to. So maybe a topic, and I want to watch him play a couple more games though first until I make an opinion on that. But now thinking about it, it's actually not such a crazy idea. So that's another show though.
Might benefit him too. And yeah, we could talk about that because I was saying, do you think they switch him and Dario, or do they both still stay coming off?
I wouldn't. I'd still keep Dario off the bench. Yeah, I'm not starting Dario.
You don't think this is going to switch now with the Rashawn Holmes injury? You still think Dario's coming off the bench?
Yes.
Okay.
I would start Amir Johnson.
Okay, I like that. He's a dog.
I would do. Let's see. You have Simmons, you have Rocco, you have Redick, Amir Johnson, and Embiid. That defensive, but then Amir Johnson doesn't shoot threes. You have Rocco and Redick. So that you're driving and kicking, you have those two. Amir Johnson is your garbage kind of guy. I know that I'm sure people listening would probably say, "What are you talking about? Why would you start Amir over Dario?" But I want Dario to be that scoring punch off the bench with Fultz if that scenario played out.
And
so the reason why I don't like Dario starting is if you have Embiid and Simmons, he's your third guy. So I want him being more of a focal point on offense. If he's coming off the bench, he would be.
And he would get burned by threes.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
For sure. He wouldn't be able to cover small forwards at all because Ben Simmons would be playing the 4 at that point if it was Embiid, because he does the switching. So, and it might benefit the rookie for him not to have all that pressure coming off the second unit if Dario is able to carry the offensive load.
Yeah. What do you think about that starting? What would your starting lineup be?
If that was Embiid, yeah, I would go with that. I would say Simmons, Redick, Rocco, and I would definitely say Amir Johnson would be in there, and then Embiid. But if Embiid's hurt, you switch. I would say Amir would start the 5 and then have Okafor play the 4 if Embiid's not ready for the season.
Yeah, because I like Amir too. If they get Ben going in transition, he's going to follow up on stuff, like dunks and stuff. Because I wouldn't start Okafor. That might sound crazy too. That I wouldn't start Okafor over Amir Johnson. But
if Embiid's not healthy, you're not starting Okafor at the 4.
If Embiid's not healthy, then maybe then it's a different story. But if he's playing, I'm not starting him.
No, I wouldn't either because you need Amir Johnson. He's going to do all the dirty work for you. Get defensive rebound. He's like your wild dog. He's like our Charles Oakley. I love Amir Johnson.
There you go. It's a good comparison. Charles Oakley hit that 15 to 18-foot jumper on a consistent basis.
Yeah, I wish he would stretch his offensive game a little bit. I know he can hit it from time to time.
Well, he hit a 3 in the opener.
Yeah.
He hit
got a little bit of range for a guy. Coming out of high school, he was a highly talented player too.
Yeah. That's the thing that I love about Ben Simmons is when he drives and kick, he puts that ball right in your shooting pocket every single time.
Perfect. It is perfect, man. It's like watching Tom Brady out there delivering the ball, delivering the passes. Yeah. Incredible. And he's been so exciting to watch, Ben Simmons. Have you been impressed by him? I know you were a huge fan of him coming out.
Dude, I've been absolutely in awe of Ben Simmons. Some people are complaining about his turnovers. Here's what I have to say about that. When you don't get your hands up, you're going to turn the ball over.
Right.
He sees things that other people don't see. Mm-hmm. And because of that, his teammates don't always expect passes. We saw Amir Johnson let one right through his fingertips because he had like 5 turnovers in the one game, and I thought like maybe 2 of them were on him and the others were on his teammates.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that'll come with time too. As you continue to build more cohesion with Ben Simmons, those turnovers will go down.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd like to see him adjust his body more, especially when because he can get to the tin whenever he wants.
Oh, he gets called for offensive fouls. Yeah.
Way too much. I'd like to see a little bit more body adjustment, a little bit more heads up play to really dish it out or adjust his body, make a spin move because he has the athleticism to do it. I saw that a lot in game 2 against the Celtics when I was down at the center.
Yeah, he got called for 2 offensive fouls. He doesn't jump stop. Even in college, I don't think he jump stops. He needs to learn that.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. It's because he's just so big. He just figures he could plow people over. But that's not going to be. It's going to be called in the NBA.
Yeah. So he's got to work on that, definitely for sure. All right, we've gone 30 minutes, so let's see what else. What else do you want to talk about?
Is Brett Brown the coach? People are jumping ship on Brett Brown after watching these past 3 games, especially last night. They don't think that he's going to be the coach to be able to coach this team to a playoff or even a championship win. Are you out on Brett Brown?
I'm not out or in. I want to see what they do this year. This is the first year where we can really judge them.
Exactly. I'm with you. I can't 100% agree with that.
So, like, you could say, like, last year, okay, maybe you want his design plays later on in games to be better. And he did kind of struggle with that to start the year, but it got better as the season went along. I thought it really started when that backdoor play
during Covington.
The lob to Covington. That's when it kind of turned around for Brett Brown.
That was awesome. I love that. It's like watching street ball out there. You don't even draw anything up. It's just let the game go with the with the flow. That was an incredible play. I love watching that.
Yep.
That was like that 61-yarder. At the freaking link. Woo! Awesome.
Yep. All right. One more question before we head out. Do you think Nick Stauskas is going to make this team
this season?
Yeah.
I think he does. I feel like he's earned the right just from his play last season. He kind of came on at the end of the year. He improved in every category. Defensively, wasn't turning the ball over as much. And just because he can shoot threes, he reminds me like a poor man J.J. Redick. Like a very, very poor man's J.J. Redick.
Very poor.
Very, very poor.
Name.
He's a very, very streaky shooter, but he has the ability to hit the 3. And like I said before, from watching him from 3 years ago to now, he's earned a shot.
Yeah, I am just like sick of Sauce.
You're done. Who would you would rather have Chris Humphries on the team than Sauce?
No.
So who would you? So obviously you're out on him. You wouldn't.
Let me look. I mean, can they have? Because this was actually a question from Eric. Eric actually had a couple questions and I used a couple of them because he's a smart guy and he thinks of good stuff, and I don't always think of good stuff. So he literally asked. Here's what he said: do we need to keep Stauskas around now that we have JJ and Korkmaz?
Well, I'd rather have Sauce than Korkmaz because Korkmaz has struggled mightily.
Yeah, but Korkmaz is also what, 20, whatever the hell he is.
Yeah, he's young, but that's where the veteran presence would help because he just looks atrocious in games. And imagine if he's out there and he just fumbles it around. I mean, he's got a great shooting touch, but with time, bring him along. That's why I feel he would have benefited down in the D League.
I want to know what Kim Kardashian saw in Chris Humphries. Like, if that man got laid by her, I got a fucking shot. Kanye, move the fuck over.
I don't know if she went after his looks or his money because she sucked him dry for about $30 million and then took his talent there with him because kind of reminds me of Space Jam. She just sucked everything right out of him.
His face is way too small for his body.
He's a goofy looking dude for sure. And there's no talent there. I love how they were booing him too. I couldn't figure out for the life of me why they were doing it. And then a viewer let me know why they were booing every time he touched the ball. Apparently, he hacked the crap out of Ben Simmons at the Floresta when they were playing the blue and white game. I don't know if you noticed that. They were just hammering him with the boo birds were out, dude. It was hilarious. And I'm thinking, why are they booing this guy? And I guess that's why. Yeah. Trying to take out our superstar player. What are you thinking? That's what you don't even deserve to be on this team. You're trying to do that.
Yeah, he's not making the team. He's not making the team.
I hope not. I honestly,
no, he's not. There is no fucking way.
I hope not.
There's no way.
I hope not, man. We haven't had a Colangelo move. Yeah. That's always in the back pocket. That could easily happen with Rashawn now. Be like, yeah, Chris Humphreys, he's a great vet. We'll have him on here. He'll bring up morale. Yeah, I'd rather have Emeka Okafor. Thank you.
I would too. Now going back to Korkmaz, I honestly think he's going to be spending a lot of time in the D League or the G League, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah, the G League. I'm sorry, I called it the D League.
Yeah,
the G League. He does. He would benefit from being down there.
He needs to play there like all season long because he looked awful in the summer league. He looked atrocious in every game. It just looks like the game's too fast for him. Yes. He jacks up shots way too soon. It's not a simple translation. I mean, Dario struggled when he even first came over here, and I feel like he's a far superior player than Korkmaz. Yeah, I'm with you. All right. I think that's about it. Well, our next show, I guess we'll do like a Fultz off the bench thing. I think that'll be a good one, and we'll get to watch a couple more games to kind of see where he's at. So with that being said, geez.
Season's close, man. Only about 8 days?
I'm thinking about all the shit I got to do right now. Sucks. Actually, I'm not even going to be able to watch the Sixers game.
You can watch it at some point. It's all good.
I have to write the Panthers-Eagles preview. Oh. It's a short week, so all of a sudden I have twice the amount of work.
That's what's great about our business that we're in. It's a lot of work, but it's fun work. But it's a lot of work.
I guess it's fun work. I guess. I'm not thrilled about writing this preview, like because my previews are very in depth and very detailed and very thorough, and I just wrote one like 4 days ago. I just wrote one, and I got to write another one.
Well, as we continue to grow, it's just going to be more and more work, though, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But I hear you. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, like I'm sorry. Like, because there's been people complaining that I don't get back to their comments. I'm very sorry if you're offended by that, because I've literally had people very offended by this. And listen, I work my fucking ass off. All right, I'm constantly busy. I basically, do the whole Philly influencer thing. I do the Bitter Birds thing. I'm basically constantly working all the time, and I take the time out of my day to respond to comments. So if you're offended, I apologize, but Jesus fuck, like, stop being so petty.
Yeah, I mean, you get to it when you get to it. People, it's not like you're ignoring them. That's to just let me know. I mean, there is a lot to it.
Well, sometimes I just miss the comments because now, like, not to sound arrogant, but we're growing. So we get lots of comments on every single video. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to go through and look through everything. So, yeah, I had 2 people last week bitching at me. And I'm like, dude, what do you want? Also, Sean Brace's dad just died, too. So it's like I've been just not around. What do you want from me?
Yeah, I mean, it happens, man. It happens. It's not like we're trying to offend them or anything. Just can't get to the comments sometimes, Yeah.
So, I explained it to him. The one guy was cool. The other one was just really took offense to it. So
some people are just not going to be happy. They're just always going to take offense. There's nothing you can do. If you explain yourself, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah. All right. With that being said, we're going to end that on this note. So that's it. That's Kyle Gaffner. I'm Adrian Fedke. Hope you guys enjoyed. Take care.
Peace.